Hey everyone. So I was reflecting on this recently and I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about rejection, our expectations for ourselves, and how we navigate through the world. This is about the time I got fired. So if you're new around here, hi, welcome. My name is Ernesto. I'm a composer. Originally with this channel, what I wanted to show was to document my own journey to becoming a film composer. And I've since changed that definition a little bit. I don't categorize myself as just a film composer. I categorize myself as a composer, and I happen to do film composition. But it was to document where I am in my life, maybe to look back on in the future, to document all of my successes and my growth, but also my failures. It's naive to think that any successful person has not encountered any hardships at all in their lives. So in early 2022, last year, a guy who worked on another film that I had just finished up a few months prior reached out to me and said that he's working on another film and they're looking for a composer, and they liked my work on the film that he was on, so they wanted to talk. I got in touch with the director. It had a sizable budget, the largest that I had come across to that point. I watched the film and it was a good, high quality film, and that's the best to get to work on, something that you really like. So we talked about what he wanted for the music, and I had ideas flowing, so I put together like a 10-minute long suite of just themes and ideas and sounds that I thought might fit, and sent it to him. He listened to it and he said, you know what, I would really like some acoustic guitar in this. And I can play a little guitar, but I didn't have an acoustic guitar with me, only an electric guitar, and I didn't have convincing acoustic guitar samples. So I just added like little electric guitar sounds and changed up some more themes and then sent it back. He replied again saying, you know, I'd really like to have acoustic guitar in this. And he sent me like a reference track, something strummy and something picked as well. And I kept not giving him acoustic guitar. And then finally he went, you know what? We're gonna go in a different direction with the music. Oh, thanks so much. Sorry. And I kind of just sat there like, whoa, I had never agreed to be a part of a project and then let go like that before, because I just wasn't nailing what they wanted. And I'm very much not the kind of person to get upset for very long. If I'm angry or frustrated or something, 10 or 15 minutes can go by and I won't even remember what bothered me in the first place. But this stung for a few days. I was just kind of at a loss. After I was able to process all of my thoughts a little bit more, I responded back a few days later and said, I completely understand. Let me know if you ever need help with anything, and I look forward to working together again in the future. And he was very clear. He liked my music, just not for his film, for this particular story. And it's really nobody's fault but my own. I just didn't listen. I could have used my shoddy acoustic guitar samples to send in the demo, but I didn't. Instead of simply giving him acoustic guitar, I just did what I thought would work best, but that isn't what the director envisioned for his film. I should have just listened and put my own wants and ideas aside and just done the job that I had been asked to do. And I lost sight of that. And it's interesting too, because this was in early 2022, just a couple of months after I had graduated college. And a few months before that, I had been rejected for a couple of things that I thought were pretty big, or at least for me. I was rejected from scoring a really good documentary, and is actually getting its television premiere on a major network here pretty soon. And I had been rejected from a composer assistant's job at one of Hans Zimmer's studios in Los Angeles. I had applied, I interviewed, but I didn't get the job. And honestly, I just wasn't ready for those opportunities yet. Both of those jobs went to more qualified people who were further along in their journey than I was. And I'm grateful that I was even considered for those things, because I was 23 at the time, and I'm sure the people who had been hired were just more experienced than I. And that showed me that I was on my way to something, that I had been like getting little nibbles of something a little greater. I just needed more experience. And I think that if I was in that position again now as I am, I think I'd have a much better shot, only because my music just sounds better. I'm better at producing the music that I create and making it sound the way that I wanted to sound. And at the time, I just didn't have the computer processing power, the sample libraries, the plugins. Not that that's more important than knowing how to use them, but a lot of my journey had been trying to do as much as I can with what I had. And you can look through the first couple of years of the life of this channel. I was making all of my scores with free stock sounds and plugins, and I think I was able to make it work for myself. But that stuff just wasn't enough to like show off what I could do as a composer in a production standpoint to, for example, the composer who was interviewing me to be their assistant. And I'm so grateful to be in a place now where I can invest money I make from composing back into composing for knowledge and gear and software, things that help me create the sound that I want to create. And you know what? It's all good as well, because shortly after I had been fired off of that project, I got another project that paid me more money than I had ever been paid before to write music. And I just had a meeting literally 2 days ago about scoring this feature film that seems really cool. So I can't wait to share that process of doing that with you. So stay subscribed. That's all I have for now. I just wanted to tell that little story. What I really wanted to do was open the floor up to all of you guys and comment down below if you've ever been rejected, which surely you have, or even fired off of a project once you were signed on to work on the music for it. I think that's something that we can almost all relate to, but it's important to know that others experience the same things. It's just a part of the composer's life to be rejected, or life in general to be rejected, and maybe even let go of things that you thought you were really excited about or that you really were going to nail. Besides, they say that you're not a real film composer unless you've been fired off a project. So, hey, we made it. So until next time, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Ernest Composer. You can visit my Patreon at patreon.com/ErnestComposer. You can get access to templates, score study versions of my own published works, score study Sunday hangouts every single month, and more goodies. You can visit my website at ernestocomposer.com. Thanks so very much for watching, and as always, take care.